So it's late and I am in the middle of prepping and recycling for the upcoming project, the new business. Exciting times, very exciting times. But yeah, and as I was sitting here, I realized I've been so busy that I haven't actually made a daily blog entry for 2 days. This might be the third day. So what are we on today? Like Thursday the 21st. And yeah, I haven't done one since the 18th. So today's fourth day. Fucking hell, nah, it can't be. Anyway, whatever it is. Okay, there's a lot to catch up. Well, I say there's a lot to catch up on. Energy wise, there's a lot to catch up on. It's been a lot of realizations. I definitely nearly killed myself a minute ago. Nearly took it right through the vein. So gotta be careful. It was I'd say a gentle reminder, because it was gentle compared to what it could have been. And yeah. Whew. So today, let's start with today, and then we can track back. Today's a good day. Anxiety levels real low. Like a 1, 2. Woke up super early. I say super early, it's normal now. I'm up at like 7:30, 7:25. My eyes are like, yo, it's time to get up. Like, there's no like lying. You're awake, you're awake. So, woke up, sat up, done my meditations, and I've started. Today was my first day of a new meditation course that I'm doing that a friend sent through to me, and I'm really glad as well, you know. This friend is like so much more than a friend. I want to say he's a brother, but a lot of love for him, man. So much love. I love him like crazy. It's insane. And it always has been since day one, like since the first day that we ever met. It was like there was a mad connection, and it was amazing. And then yeah, ever since, like it was just one of them things. And there's not many people that you meet in. Well, actually, there is people that you meet in life that are on the same shit as you, but it's very rare that you meet people that continue to move on a similar path and journey as you. So, you know, obviously I've known him now for about 7-8 years, and yeah, it smells so good. And yeah, and we've always had like a real good connection, a real good connection. The energy is just right. Like whenever we exchange energy, it's never selfish one way. It's always a, you know, I give, he gives kind of thing, and we share basically. It's not even a give or a take; it's a share, and that's special. That's a special thing, you know. So yeah, he shared this meditation with me. Shared it with loads of people, but you know, who knows who else took it up. All I know is about what I'm going through right now. So I done my morning meditations that I normally do, then started a kind of art lesson stimulus for my niece. She's not been feeling very motivated. She's only 8, and you know, she's been in her house for 5 weeks, and she's bored. Like she's bored. She's not feeling motivated to do much. You know, like I can only but just imagine. Like I'm 35, ready to turn 36, and I'm having to make myself, you know, stimulated, and I'm keeping myself intentionally busy. And so yeah, 8 years old, and she's just stuck at home. and you know, she has schoolwork to do and things like that, but she's just not, she doesn't feel interested in it. So because we've had the really amazing opportunity to really bond throughout this whole experience, and we've been doing a lot of things together, you know, not that I feel it's my responsibility, but I feel it's my pleasure to be able to share something with her that can help her. You know, we've been keeping physically fit together, and that's amazing. And you know, and we stay spiritually connected because we share a love for crystals together. So we often talk about our crystals, and she calls me every day, and we just have a chat about pretty much anything, what she's doing, what she's thinking, how she's feeling. You know, and I'm really lucky to be able to have that with her. Really lucky, because she's interested and she cares. And something that I've realised throughout this whole situation is, you know, it's important for us to reach out to people. However, it's also important for people to reach out to us. So it's important to pay attention to who's attempting to make those connections, you know. And not to say that if somebody isn't, then that means that, you know, they're not deserving, but because realistically you don't necessarily know what everyone's going through, but you know, pay attention to the people that have been making that effort, have been checking in, have been dropping you a message every once in a while. You know, there's going to be people that you didn't hear from for a while that would have all of a sudden come up out the woodwork. Pay attention. You know, another thing as well that like really is happening a lot right now is dropping the judgment, dropping away judgment and ridicule, and you know, just it's the dropping away of these things is coming more so because of a gain of love, a gain of empathy, and that's what's really important right now. It's the love. No time for anything but love. And if people are not, you know, if they're not creating that love, and if they're not bringing that to the table, it's okay to get up from the table. It really is okay. Like, you know, sometimes we can feel like we're obliged to remain seated because we've known somebody for many years, and doesn't always mean that. Doesn't, you know, friendships, just like relationships and any sort of relationship, whether it's intimate, spiritual, friendship, any ship that sets sail, you know, they have seasons. Some seasons are for, you know, a few months. Some are for a specific lesson. Some are for a few years, maybe a few decades. Some are for a lifetime. You know, we're not to know which are which. However, it's okay to allow certain ones to depart, and you know, as long as you're happy, you can still love someone. Doesn't mean just because you're not so deeply connected and interwoven in part of each other's lives that you don't love each other anymore. It's not what it means. You know, you can still love someone and not talk to them, and sometimes you have to love yourself enough not to keep rekindling certain relationships, you know. And again, that doesn't mean that you don't love them, or it doesn't mean that you don't love yourself, but it does mean that you do love yourself. Get it? So yeah, definitely a lot of that, a lot of love for self, a lot of acceptance, and acceptance is super key right now. Acceptance for one another, for self, you know, for positive as well as in negative, because there's a lot of negative things that are happening, but you know, we have the personal power to transmute those negative things, them negative thoughts and feelings, channel them and utilize them to the best for our abilities, because you know, it doesn't have to be your story, and we are energetic beings, so we can definitely, you know, decide where we want to go with our energies. You know, I was like in such a dark and dangerous place, and instead of me allowing it to diminish me, you know, in a non-conceited way, I feel like I utilized that energy and I transmuted that negative, scary fear. I used that to my advantage, and I said, well, how am I going to go around this? What am I going to use? How am I going to use this energy to shuttle myself forward? And, you know, I put in place all the things I needed to put in place. And I think that is what's super important in life. Like, take control, do what you got to do. No time for self-pity. You know, we can't stay in a swamp of our own shit. Don't get me wrong, sometimes we wake up and we're already wading in it. However, you figure out what's right for you, and sometimes it is hard to figure out, and not everybody is gonna have the same techniques. So, you know, you can't always ask other people how to get out of your hole. You got to figure it out. But if you're willing to try different kinds of things, then no reason whatsoever why you can't figure it out. You know, you got to be open, you got to be willing. What else? So yeah, today off track from today. So yeah, got up, done my meditation, spoke with my niece. Was planning to go down because basically the lesson didn't go as great as planned. It's a bit hard to teach an 8-year-old that doesn't have much of an attention span when it comes to listening to instructions on what to do without being there with them. So it didn't go right, what she was supposed to be doing. When her mum come in to check, she clocked straight away, like, this doesn't look right. So we cancelled the lesson, and I said I was going to come down and we was going to do a lesson social distancing out in the garden, which is completely doable, responsibly, you know, especially since we've both been quarantined for 5 coming into 6 weeks. Then after that, I had to wait for a delivery to arrive, which arrived. So I've now got my glue gun. Super excited about that. Oi oi. Then had some conversations with my flatmate, which was good. Needed to have that. Oh, I sold my TV, and I was so fucking concerned. I was like, oh, how do I do it? It's gonna take so long. Can someone else do it for me? And this is another thing, like, just goes to prove to myself that you just gotta fucking do things. Like, put it on the marketplace on the old FB, and literally within 5 minutes someone was like, yeah, I want that. Where are you? I said, yeah, I'm in Bricky. He said, oh yeah, I'm coming down now, I'll be there in half hour. Done and done. Me and my flatmate carried it out. They come down, picked it up, left. Now I've got a massive space open for more plants. Do you know what? I'm going to show you. But there's a lot going on right now. So where I'm going through all of my candle stuff, it looks very busy on the floor. I'm going through recycling all old jars. But look, that's where my TV was before. And now, no TV. So that's opened up a lot of space, which means which means I can utilize that space much better now because I wasn't using it. I didn't use that fucking TV. I think sat there for years without being turned on every once in a while, and then every time I turned it on I was like, no, turn it off. I could hear the electric running through it. It's really bizarre. I can hear electric, and people they must think I'm crazy. I swear to God, I can hear it. It's like this high pitched sound, and it's constant all the time. If I can hear it. So whenever I turned on the TV, it used to make me feel sick. Literally within 5 minutes, I was like, oh, it's got to turn off. Got to turn that shit off because it was too much for my head. So yeah, got rid of it finally. Then started digging out a bunch of like my stuff to do with all my candles. Managed to find a lot of my old paperwork, my business plans. Exciting. So I've got like a business plan skeleton that I can run off of, which is great. Found a lot of old like papers and things, all this stuff, all my stickers, but annoying thing is I can't use any of them because I'm not going to be using this name anymore. And the reason I'm not using this name anymore is because loads of people are already fucking using it. There's like 3 or 4 candle companies with that name now. And just go to think, when I first started, there was none. I was the only one that was called fucking JD Candles. And now there is. So I've got a new name in the works, which is much more representative of what this is going to be about this time round. So that's going to need some special attention. And yeah, it's really exciting, really exciting. I was struggling as well for a while with like a name, and I kept thinking that, you know, it has to be something candles, and I realized it doesn't have to be anything candles. It just has to be a name that represents. And so I found a word, and most people are not going to know what this word means, but energetically it's perfect. So yeah, it was nice because when I was digging through like all my old candle stuff, I found like a little card thing. Where is it? From my mate. And it was like, just know, like one of them like little greeting card things, little square card. And it was just like, yeah, to my good friend on your 21st birthday, just to let you know you lift me up. I was like, oh, I'm melting. That was like 14 years ago. You know, it's crazy how quick time flies. And again, it just goes to show, you know, certain friendships, they will last. And other friendships do too. And even after, you know, 20 something years, you can still say, okay, I love you, but stop with the expectations. That's the thing. I feel like we always have these expectations of people and of ourselves. We need to fucking drop them. Like, we need to seriously drop them expectations, because expectation breeds disappointment. And I've been saying that for a long time, actually, quite a few years. But it's so fucking true. It's so true. You know, we make up these expectations of what we believe should be the case, instead of just allowing things and accepting things for whatever the fuck they are. And so, yeah, that ties back into the whole, like, acceptance thing, like, just accepting things for what they are and being okay with it. And it stops us from the disappointment and the preconceived fuckery, basically. So tonight is new moon, which is super cool. It's a really good time for setting up some new intentions. So, you know, that's why I'm like being really productive with the business. Well, it's not why I'm being productive with the business. I'm being productive because I really want to, but it lines up perfectly with what, you know, with the energy that I need to be creating for a prosperous future. And even just like throughout the day, being able to share, like, I'm really excited. I'm so excited about what's to come from the future. And it's really bizarre because most people are really worried right now, and I'm feeling the opposite. I'm feeling really excited. You know, I'm being really productive with my time. I'm learning new skills. I'm reigniting old fires. Um, so yeah, man, it's gonna be good. Like, watch this space. Watch this space. You know, super grateful. And that's another thing. Like, gratitude is the key to success. Be grateful. Be grateful for your current situation. Be grateful for your pain and your struggle, because it's those things that will crack you open to your next dimension. Whee! Listen to that, yeah? Your internal dimension, right? Because that's where we do the work. That's where the work's done on ourselves, yeah? When you crack open from the inside, because that's where we bury things so deep from past traumas. And you know, it depends on what you believe in. It could be down to past life traumas. It's, you know, it's childhood traumas, things that we didn't even realize, you know, were traumas. These all these things, you know, will be coming up right now in this time in order for us to heal and face and deal with. And it's the perfect time for it. And it's scary. It is scary, you know, to be dealing with things that we may have buried for all these years, decades perhaps. But it's all in regard. It's all for the greater good. It's all to elevate, you know, your spirit, your mind, your body, your soul. And whether you believe in all that or not, whatever you believe in is what is gonna be elevated for you. You know, you gotta protect yourself energetically, keep safe, and do that how you see fit. Because what's right for me ain't necessarily right for you. You know, I've had a few people ask me what it is around my neck. It's a tourmaline. and this disappeared on me for about 2 months. Could not find this piece of tourmaline anywhere. Looking high and low. The other day I pulled out an old, well, not an old, but I pulled out a piece of clothing, and the thing just fell out of it. I was like, oh, there you are. Oh, hey girl. So anyway, I was super excited about it returning to me, obviously at the perfect time. And yeah, so I wrapped it and turned it into my necklace. Now, the reason why I really, really like the fact and why I've done it into this is because tourmaline is proven to absorb and neutralize EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies. And you know, there's we get a lot of that anyway with just Wi-Fi signals, with mobile phones, with, you know, having microwaves in the house. So much. I mean, I don't have a microwave. I haven't had a microwave for probably three years or so now, maybe even 4. Because I just weren't into them. Like, my spirit was just like, nah, man, get rid of that shit. And I stopped using them years ago because it just didn't sit right with me. So I'm not into the microwave, but you know, I've got a Wi-Fi box. Our mobile phones, you know, I've turned off my mobile data because I don't need it, especially now. Like, I'm sitting in the house, I've got Wi-Fi. Well, I'm gonna have Wi-Fi and mobile data all running through my veins. Little things like that. Yeah, these are things that we can control. And in a time like now, feeling like you've got some control, I think is quite important. Even though it kind of contradicts a little bit like what I'm going and saying in regard to like letting go of control and allowing things to be completely what they are. You know, a certain level of control is healthy, because you need to know that you're going to be safe. You need to know that you're going to be healthy. That also leads me to, you know, the point of what are you putting into yourself energetically, what are you putting into yourself spiritually, but most importantly, what are you putting into yourself food? What are you feeding your soul? What are you feeding your mind? What are you reading? What are you eating physically? What food are you eating? You know, are you empowering your body? Are you poisoning your body? Are you cleansing your body? The foods that you eat cleansing, or are you waking up and eating things that are carcinogenic? You know, how much water are you drinking? Are you staying hydrated? These are kind of things that are really at the forefront of my awareness at the moment. And you know, it could have been brought on. Well, it's been a long time in the works. However, it's been amplified by, you know, the world pandemic, or the word pandemic, shall I say. I mean, no denying that this shit is real and it's happening, but there's also a lot of other things coming to light now as well that seem to be quite sinister in nature. In regards to like the amount of figures of things that are being projected, the fear that's being stirred. You know, it's all very sinister. But again, what are you feeding your mind? Stop watching the news. Stop watching the news weeks ago. Don't bother. I blocked off and stopped following anybody on my social medias that have the energy of forwarding that fear. And you know, and people are not awake. People don't understand what they're doing because they're programmed and they're fucking zombies and they're calcified. And that's just what it is, you know. Not everybody is called for understanding certain levels of things, and that's okay. That's okay. Because actually, heavy is the burden of being awake. And you know, and that doesn't mean that anyone is better than anyone else. Again, I have to bring that back to that. It doesn't mean it's better, because actually there's moments when I've envied somewhat people that seem to not have a concern for it, or that have a lesser understanding. The bliss of the ignorance sometimes is, you know, it's very comforting. But I've also noticed that even those blissfully ignorant people are being caught up in the turmoil of fear. They're also being caught up in the conspiracies. But what's the line? What becomes conspiracy and what becomes reality for one and not for another? Do you know what I mean? What is your reality? And who's to say that that is not right or correct? So, you know, it's all food for thought, realistically. But staying in your own lane is super important, and just pursuing like your own happiness, pursuing your own righteousness, getting right with yourself and doing what's right for you. And if that means that it's right for you to sit up in your house and smoke your weed, drink your drinks, then do that. Do it. I'm not here to judge that. But if you feel like something's lacking, search for what it is that you're missing, and search by any means necessary, because sometimes we're very surprised by what the answer to the question is. Sometimes we don't even know the question. We have to find the answer in order to figure out what the question is. But when you find that answer without knowing the question, you more time instinctively know. So keep searching, like just keep searching for what's right for you. And you'll get there. The last few days have been interesting. I think I'm gonna have to make another video now because this one's already hitting half hour. So I might have to think about a bit more structure to what I'm gonna say rather than freestyling it like I just have. so that I can actually cover the last few days properly. So I'm going to do that and then come again with another recording, and yeah, continue with these. I wanna plant a couple, repot a couple of my plants tonight as well. I reckon I'm gonna have a late one. I've got a really good tan today, just laying on my bed. I'm so fortunate to have a south-facing window. I like tanned up my white bits, so to speak. I think I've mentioned that probably every fucking video, but I'm just so gassed about it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Anyway. Love and light.